Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltiasgaming.com, and in this video we are going to break down the top MMORPGs you need to keep your eye on in 2025. With exciting new titles and even some major updates to fan favorite games, 2025 is shaping up to be a great year for MMORPGs. So if you're looking for what's next in this genre, stay tuned to this video. The number one MMORPG to keep your eye on is Dune Awakening, and this is an upcoming open world survival MMO set in the iconic desert of Arrakis, developed by the team behind Conan Exiles. Now, as of the making of this video, we do not have a release date, but players have already been playing closed, alphas, and betas, so people have got their hands on this game, and the developers have been starting to share more and more, and it's likely 2025 we might see this game released. Players awaken as a sleeper and are thrust into harsh, unforgiving environment on the Dune universe. The Dune universe really fits the survival MMO with all sorts of fun, cool mechanics, but a world that persists in constant progression. As you survive, you must gather resources, craft essential equipment, cutters, and build in this unforgiving environment, especially managing water. The gameplay revolves around survival, exploration, strategy with massive sandworms, and a PvP present danger. At the core of this experience is about spice. If you ever watch the movies, this is the material most valuable in the universe, allowing people to travel in between the stars. So you're going to be building guilds and great houses and try to seize control of this Arrakis political landscape and controlling the spice resource, which is the most valuable resource. What's going to separate Dune Awakening apart from the others is obviously the immersion and the storytelling. And if you've ever seen Dune or you read the books, it's just kind of a weird, different world. It has a lot of lore, so they can always build on this, but it's just a unique world with the spice and the desert being so unforgiving and how they manipulate water, build, and grow. Along with the sandworms and some of the other enemies, this has a lot of potential to be really cool and different for a change, something unique to hit the MMO landscape, especially with the developer that's already had some success with Conan Exiles. So people that are going to be interested in survival games may love MMO Dune, and the mechanics are reminiscent of Conan Exile and Ark Survival Evolved, with a mix of environmental challenges, resource gathering, and sandbox building. The political system and player-driven economy will also appeal to fans of EVE Online. However, those people that dislike resource-intensive survival mechanics or constantly gathering or prefer a linear handheld storytelling experience may struggle with this game. However, we can expect it roughly early in 2025, though we know plans change for these games since they're so massive, so keep your eye on this. Number 2 up, Chrono Odyssey. It's an upcoming next-gen MMORPG by South Korean studios, set in the mysterious, chaotic world. At the heart of the game is a powerful artifact known as the Chrono Tector, probably got that name wrong, which allows players to manipulate time and explore a land ravaged by war against forces called the Void. So what truly sets this MMO apart is the unique time travel mechanics and seemingly open world experience with dynamic weather. So the time travel is going to be really interesting if you like that type of fantasy in your video game. You're going to have large scale world events, unpredictable open world boss battles, and an environment that just constantly changes, keeping players engaged. The game's going to feature 6 job classes, each with 2 weapon types, and players can seamlessly switch between weapons in real time. And it's going to be gorgeous looking. Built on Unreal 5 engine, Chrono Odyssey promises stunning visuals, smooth performance, allegedly, and a deep immersive experience on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So this is going to blend the next-gen graphics, offering a perfect mix of PvE and PvP with huge boss battles, competitive challenge, and a lot of depth to it. You're going to be interested in this if you like that something different, which is time travel or rewinding time and so on. So keep your eye out on this. It was planned to release in 2022, but it was delayed obviously significantly to add the Unreal 5 engine, and we expect it to show up in 2025. Next up is number 3, and that's Soulframe. So this is an upcoming free-to-play MMORPG developed by Digital Extremes, the studio behind Warframe. Now, some people have already played some closed alpha/beta. Can't share that footage with you, but from what I've heard, it's been really well received. So unlike its sci-fi predecessor, Soulframe is set in a naturalistic fantasy world focused on themes of nature. So the game's going to introduce slower, methodical melee combat with an emphasis on swordplay, a significant departure from the Warframe's fast-paced action. Players can explore procedurally generated landscapes in a massive open world environment and engage in short-term sessions of gameplay without the need to return return to hubs constantly. So some of the key features include cooperative gameplay. You're gonna have a lot of environmental interactions. You're gonna be bonding with animals. So if you're a hippie, you're gonna love this. So Soulframe promises a fresh, fantasy-driven experience, and with Digital Extreme's proven track record with Warframe, an absolute banger of a game, this is likely to be a great release. Also, you should check this out if you like cooperative gameplay and free-to-play, which is not exactly free. We know how these games work, but it's a live service model. So you got a lot of people playing, spending money in the cash shops. You're probably going to see this game being on for a long time. However, if you don't like cash shops and/or free-to-play games traps, be aware this may not be for you. So Soulframe is expected to follow a similar development path to Warframe. So it's being in development for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and it will be interesting to see if this comes out in 2025 or if we get more open and/or closed betas. Next up is number 4. It is Light No Fire. This is going to be a survival sandbox MMO that blends adventure, exploration, building, and survival on a fantasy Earth-sized planet. When I originally saw this, it kind of reminded me of a game I absolutely love, which is Enshrouded, but set in an MMO genre. So it's going to have procedurally generated worlds, and if I've said that before, that means it's just going to be randomly generated, and it's going to combine depth of roleplay with massive exploration in a sandbox. So what's unique about it is its Earth-size scale is groundbreaking, essentially offering limitless exploration of dense and different biomes. The game's going to have persistent multiplayer where you can build communities, discover untouched territories, interact with unique enemies and valuable resources, and that's the main selling point of this game, is really exploration. As someone who loves Enshrouded, I will be keeping my eye on this game. It's developed by Hello Games and will also be the publisher. The release date isn't known as of yet, but we will see a lot more about it in 2025. Next up is Pax Dei. It's a social sandbox MMO inspired by medieval legends where myth, magic, and spirits shape the world. I played this and I think in an open or closed alpha or beta, and it was a bit rough when I played it last year at some time. It's set in an expansive open world environment, and the game places heavy emphasis on exploration, crafting, and player-driven content. So when I say player-driven content, these are games that require you to gather, harvest, and do a lot of things. The game isn't going to necessarily hold your hand. Think Lost Ark here. While some people like that, some people will not like that whatsoever. But it has a pretty big following, doing some popular streamers playing it and experimenting, and it has a lot of build crafting that you can really do what you want in the game. So it's sandbox heavy. Players are going to have to make your own fun. And that's what it's really about. Thousands of players join forces to build villages, establish clans, shape the world economy, and then just go out and venture and battle each other. This game is currently in early access, so you can jump in now if you want, and it's a bit mixed for me. Still needs a lot of work and a lot of polish. So we'll see how 2025 shapes this up, but it's really going to be a dynamic game covering a lot of vast biomes. It's going to have a huge radius and area that you can do, and it's really ideal for freedom. You like builds, crafting, exploration, and you want to really have that organic sandbox experience where you kind of can do whatever you want. This game's going to be for you, set in a middle age type of environment. Next up, Age Chronicles. So it's going to be a highly anticipated sequel to Age, which was a 2013 MMORPG. This open world action MMO travels people to new time period, new environment, but the same universe, introducing fresh creatures, artifacts, and challenges. It's going to be powered by Unreal 5 engine, so it's going to look awesome. And if you're familiar with the Age game, you will like this one. What I was worried about with Age is it was heavily monetized, and whales could basically pay to win that game. But it had some of the best combat, some of the coolest looking characters and gameplay, along with guild building. It's another game that really focuses on having a class-based system and having guild. Both Ashes of Creation and Age Chronicles are really going to have players control the game. If you're a social butterfly, you're going to like this game. It's also going to have enhanced housing system, dynamic trade mechanics, obviously going to look beautiful with Unreal 5 visuals, and it's going to appeal to those people that like those type of games or have played the one earlier and just want an updated, newer. It's going to have some mechanics similar to Black Desert Online and Final Fantasy in terms of exploration, dynamic housing, and open world combat. That organic open world combat, especially like New World, where you're rolling around and anyone can tango at any time, that will appeal to very specific people and not others. So if you're one of those that likes a linear story-driven experience and casual, this game probably ain't going to be for you. As of the making of this video, we think it's going to be released in 2025 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series shaping up to be one for the record books in 2025. Next up is Aion 2. It's another sequel to Aion, developed by NCSoft and powered by Unreal Engine 5. NCSoft is behind a lot of different games like Guild Wars 2 and also Thrones and Liberty. So these guys know how to crank out MMORPGs. I love the original Aion because it delivered kind of a cool flying mechanic. And it was just beautiful, large-scale PvP and PvE blended together. And this game promises more of the same. So you're going to allow limited gliding, allow players to explore the world in fresh, immersive ways. You're going to remove factions, making a bold departure from the original game's identity. Open up new type of gameplay while focusing on PvE content and smaller scale PvP encounters. So the main appeal here is unlimited gliding. If you like the fly mechanic in Aion and just really limitless exploration, especially 3D and having Unreal Engine 5 visually, this is going to be for you. Now, when I played the game Aion originally, it was a lot of fun doing the PvE and PvP together. But some of my concerns are, just like anything, you're going to find those players that play 18 hours a day and they're going to go pick on you when you're level 30 and they have best in slot gear. So they're going to need to have it some way where it caters to casual players that are just kind of floating around experimenting versus the hardcore PvPers that typically run around and ruin everyone's fun. Go play instance-based PvP, bro. With the making of this video, we think it's going to be released in 2025, and Aion 2 aims to appeal to a broader audience, offering a fresh take on this classic MMORPG formula. With NCSoft behind it, they have a lot of experience, so we'll have to wait and see how this shapes up. Next up is number 8, Starreach. Starreach is a newly announced sci-fi MMO. The lead designer comes from Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies, so you probably know where this is going. It's going to be set in a vibrant, optimistic sci-fi fantasy universe. Its core feature is fully persistent dynamic world, where players' action permanently impact the environment. Raging forests, migrating creatures, building cities from scratch, you name it. The game offers a massive galaxy of planets to explore, tons of crafting, player-driven economy, ability to modify environment, sculpting, shaping terrain, controlling water. Combat is a mix of fast-paced third-person action and arcade-style mechanics with flexible targeting system. So what's going to set this apart is the gameplay and the ecosystem. Every player's actions contributes to a living, evolving galaxy. It's going to have horizontal progression system, allowing players to switch skills freely, fostering some build identity in what you want. It also promises to have this massive galaxy persistent environment. So it's going to be like a living environment, similar to maybe to Ashes of Creation and concept of we want the players to control and their actions to actually matter. Thanks Star Wars Galaxy and EVE Online. You feel like even know what level you are, how much gear you have, and these type of games, you feel your impact on the surrounding area. This game is going to be a PC exclusive, so there's no plans for consoles, and they'll have to wait. And we expect to get a lot more details about this in 2025. Okay, so 2025. I mean, it's a lot going on with MMORPGs. I don't know what your thoughts. I'm really looking forward to Dune and Light No Fire, since I love Enshrouded and I've been doing more of the survival games. It seems like a lot of the MMO genre is going away from the theme park, and they're sticking to more of the player-driven / organic play style of just building and creating your world, which I think is a good thing to do because the theme park MMO formula is really hard for developers to keep up with unless they have a massive budget and tons of employees. And 2024 was a tough year for the gaming industry with a lot of layoffs. Sad to see people lose their job, but that's just what it is. So hopefully we can get a couple new, really powerful, awesome ones that last for years and years and offer something unique and different to a genre that's kind of been lacking that innovation recently. What are your all thoughts? Leave me a comment below, and I appreciate you watching.